Basically, when this video comes to an end, it won't be a long one, I don't believe today, you're going to understand why I'm not making a video in the middle of the week. As it pertains to Bible prophecy of end times and events taking place as they match, seen through the lens of Scripture. That's what I do here. Folks, this last week has been very uneventful other than the fact that things are aligning. We'll get into that more here in just a minute. This channel is stabilizing, folks. I can't tell you how happy that makes me. Now, don't get me wrong. Everyone is welcome here. Brand new to this site, never seen me before. That's fine. I don't mind going back over what I have been talking about for the last 7+ years. But that doesn't mean that I won't cater to people that are new here trying to figure out what's this guy talking about. Okay, so that doesn't mean I'm not welcoming new people here. I'm just saying this channel is stabilizing. It's a most wonderful and beautiful thing. So let's just get right into it because of something that I had said before I want to talk about, and then something that I believe is up and coming, which I'll explain. That has to do with what's going on within Israel. Remember, keep our eyes on Israel. And folks, no sooner did I make the video explaining all the different avenues that could be like little ants on a big, huge mound, and everyone shot off all these different directions again. Christmas has come and gone. There was no rapture. Folks, I'm not admonishing anybody here. I would love to have seen the rapture happen on Christmas also. But I just didn't see it. Okay, let's get into what it was that I had said before. I'll explain myself and then bring in the news. Here we go. I had said that, folks, the rapture and its timing, even though it's imminent, there's really no prerequisites to it. It could happen at any moment, at any time, as by our understanding of Paul's teaching to the Thessalonians. With that in mind, what it was then that I was looking for was basically anything that had something to do with the fulfillment of the last 7 years. Daniel's prophecy of the 70 weeks of 7. Those 70 weeks, that 7 is in years. We know that because the first 483 years have already taken place and they were seen as 69 weeks. So we have the last 7 up and coming. And that's when, and Daniel makes this clear to us, Jesus in Matthew 24 describes a time, 24:15 describes a time that Jews should be paying attention to. And all this is talking about that last 7 years, or as we know it as the tribulation. Okay, let's go back into now this whole idea of why I think that this could go into January and possibly even February. All right, let's take a look at what's going on today within Israel. Hamas. This is the most curious thing of all. Prior to that, let's get right into Syria. I had mentioned in another video to you folks. I said, if they should say they want peace with Israel, that's a sign. Guess what they did this week? It's been confirmed. The new leaders within Syria have said, hey, Israel, we have no quarrel with you. We have no war with you. We want to have peace with you. That's what I said we were looking for. And guess what? They said it. There's an advancement. I thought about making a video then. I said, no, let's just hold off. All right. Next, let's take a look at Iran. Iran it's financially depleted. Everyone pretty much knows that. People are rebelling. Iran's only response is when they have nothing to say, they say, well, we're going to go ahead and really start enforcing our nuclear ambitions now. We're going to take them forward. Okay, that's all they're saying. And they're saying it basically as they're exiting the room. It's not even forceful. Iran just doesn't have the power it had, nor the finances to be able to back its proxies. Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas. Hezbollah is still active in Lebanon, and as of this week, they said the leading talkheads of Hezbollah has said, we may re-engage Israel back into war again. I don't know where they're going with that. I guess it's possible. Something for Israel to keep in mind. But Israel is set and is constantly vigilant of every single square inch of southern Lebanon that is to be part of that new protected area, that borderline between Lebanon and Israel. All right, so that's where Israel is with Hezbollah. We don't really know for sure. We'll have to wait and see. But Hezbollah has been, for all practical purposes, neutralized. They're not sending any more missiles, rockets. They aren't firing on Israel at all. All right, let's go over to the Houthis. Houthis are, for some particular reason, continuing to fire these missiles, rockets, UAVs, drones towards Israel. Well, they're like 1,300 miles away. They're kind of easy to spot, hear, see coming with radar, etc. And so Israel's able to basically pluck those out of the air most of the time. One last week did hit in Israel. But Houthis are consistent. They want to keep on going. Now, this brings us down to the West Bank, which Israel has reinforced, acted as a war zone, and is now getting the upper hand on West Bank. Let's remember what we're talking about here. Israel's fighting for sovereignty. It's fighting for the freedom of its people, to be able to come and go when they want. That's what they're looking for. You know, Paul describes it, 1 Thessalonians 5:3, when they say peace and safety, something's going to happen. So Israel's basically fighting for peace and safety. Right now you can say peace and security because they don't have the safety yet. All right, let's get into Hamas. Hamas has one card left, and that's the hostages. It's amazing because they're all hidden from Israel. And Psalms 83 talks about the hidden ones. And they don't want to give them up. Why is that? Why would Hamas not want to give them up? They're losing. Well, there's the answer right there. They don't think they're losing. They have one last hope. That's what Hamas has. And I believe, understand that they're going to stick with this, postponing the hostage swap deal because of the fact that they have one hope left. Now let's go back and take a look at the proxies of Iran. Hezbollah is standing by, saying that they would like to re-engage. Hamas is saying, well, we still have some fighters left. They even fired a couple of missiles here in the last day or two from Gaza into Israel. They say, we're still standing strong. It doesn't look like very strong, but they are still somewhat standing. And come on, yay, Houthis. We still have the Houthis. My guess, and that's it, it's only a guess, that what it is that Hamas is holding out in hopes that somehow or another communications between the Houthis, between Hezbollah, and Hamas together with Iran, maybe, I don't know, waving pom-poms for them, there's not much they can do anymore, will attempt a one-time all-out, if you don't mind the expression, a Hail Mary football term, to be able to eliminate Israel once and for all. That's just a thought there that's going through my mind. I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's just why, my point is why else would Hezbollah do what they're doing? I'm sorry, I keep saying Hezbollah, and I don't mean that. Why is Hamas in the Gaza Strip holding on to the hostages? Why? That's it. They have one hope, and they have one card. That's the hostages. Now, Ross, you said you believe sometime in January, maybe even as far as February. Why did you say that? You see, if you can understand now that somehow that the pressure is going to be increased upon Hamas when the new president, Trump, takes his position January 20th. Well, Trump has even said there will be, and this is his words, hell to pay if the hostages are not released. Hamas has got to make up their mind here. What are we going to do? Oh, I don't know. What can America do? America can say, hey, look, you're holding on to Americans as hostages. That gives us the right to do what we want to you. Well, that should make Hamas nervous. Well, all right, let's put this whole picture all together, folks. Just my understanding. And well, what God's plan is, God basically laid it out what he was going to do. And Paul said, when they say peace and safety, then God's going to do something. See, this is so nice. I don't have to explain all that because you folks are very regular here. That's a wonderful thing. You can understand why I'm saying that. Maybe a little bit more clearer. So if Hamas feels pressured enough by the United States, as Trump is about ready to take action on the 20th, would Hamas's one card they have left be forced onto the table? They're going to have to expose it. They're going to have to say, okay, we lost. We're going to lose. So the most maybe they can hope for, not too degrading, to just quickly release some of the hostages, if not all of them, and run and hide. Or they could try to maybe make some sort of a condition that they would not be killed if the hostages are released. That's really going into the future there for me. I don't know about that. I'm not too sure that's going to happen. But the pressure is on Hamas. Hamas is holding the card. The card is reliant upon Hezbollah and Houthis and the possibility of Iran still coming back around again. I guess what I'm saying is this circle of enemies in Israel has not completely collapsed as long as there's a hope. And Hamas has that hope. They're not going to release the hostages. Okay, that's about it. Of course, naturally, the hostages will be released upon the sudden destruction. But we still need Israel to be able to say peace and safety. And again, what I described earlier, that's what they want. They want to be left alone. Leave us alone. We just want to live in our land and be peaceful. And we want to feel safe living here. So when they say peace and safety, Paul's talking to the Thessalonians. What was he talking about again? Folks, I don't need to remind you. I know you know. The time comes when God says it's necessary to remove the church off of this earth because of the fact that he's going to do something to eliminate for sure the surrounding enemies of Israel. Israel's right on that borderline, right on the cusp of something happening here. But I don't see it right away until this thing with Hamas is kind of taken care of. And I think it's taken care of approximately on January 20th. Will be a time that Hamas would be really worried that America is going to intervene. Okay, I hope that made sense to you. I hope that I was able to follow through on the ability to be able to explain all this to you in a way that you can see what it is that I'm thinking. And of course, I use Scripture to be able to explain the sudden destruction, the rapture, the timing of it, Israel, the predicament that they're in, Psalms 83 wars, Zechariah 12. We've gone over and over and over that. Folks, don't go running around all over the place. Stay focused on what's happening right here. The world events are out there. Things are falling into place. Remember, I told you what happened to Syria. I even said that probably a couple, 3 weeks ago. I said, if that new leadership in Syria should say that we want to have peace with Israel, that's a big sign. Because remember, Israel's fighting for peace right now. And they want to feel safe. And that's, well, again, what they're fighting for. So let's just wait and see, folks. There's a reason why I'm not making a video. And you're welcome to contact me anytime you want. You can say, Ross, how you doing? I'm doing fine. Thank you very much. It's going to be my response. And if you ask a question or say something, I might respond. It depends. A lot of times people just like to make statements. But that's fine, too. And so, again, now I've given you my take on it. You have a reply section there. You're welcome to use it. And I will do my best to read every single one of them. And you also are welcome to my personal email by asking for it. You want to know what that reminds me? There's been some people's comments that have been removed. Find that interesting. Well, if that's one, maybe might have been you, if you've done something. Remember, you can still always get a hold of me through my email. How's that? Go over to my website. I'll leave a link below in the description box, right below the video. As you can get hold of me. You can hit my little button right there. It takes you right to me. You'll have my personal email. And we can discuss it. Many people have been removed. That doesn't mean they're blocked. They can come back again. There was something I disagreed with. Folks, until next Sunday, honestly, unless I see something else happening, patience, my friends, patience, as I've been trying to show you. Watch, listen, we're learning, know what it is that God's plan is. He's going to remove the church before he does something, and that's to remove the surrounding enemies of Israel. He's going to do that so Israel can begin to build their temple. They'll begin to sacrifice. And Daniel 9:24 through 27 is, of course, Daniel explaining what's going to happen to the Jews in the last 7 years, or as we know it, the tribulation. Folks, that really wraps it up. That brings it all back around again. You have questions, please don't be afraid to ask. And I'll do my very best to respond to them. But until then, Happy New Year. Celebrate, be safe. Happy Hanukkah as that continues. And I'm trusting most all had a very nice, happy Christmas. I hope so. Until next Sunday or something else happens. Does that sound good? Folks, again, thank you very much for your fellowship and helping me on this channel to understand. I appreciate it.